As Chief Faculty Marshal, I now declare this commencement open. The ceremony will be officiated by W. Taylor Reevely IV, the 26th President of Longwood University. Please remain standing for the national anthem led by Kathleen Lucas and the posting of the colors by the ROTC Color Guard.
President Reevely, requesting permission to post the colors.
You may post the colors. Please be seated, everyone. And good evening. And thank you, Kathleen. A graduation is one of life's great rituals, an opportunity to pause, to reflect, to celebrate, to look back, look ahead, to do so tonight with the faculty who have helped guide you here, and in the audience, some of those dearest to you and crucial in the journey. Welcome, really, truly, to this evening's Graduate Commencement Ceremony. Welcome, graduates. Welcome, families. And as a program note, as the father of two young twins, boisterous enthusiasm from children assembled with us is part of the fun tonight. So cries of delight are very welcome. Let me also extend a very special welcome to our rector, Mary Ann Radcliffe, from the great undergraduate class of '92, members of our Board of Visitors, to Mike Lewandowski, the president of our foundation, and to Tammy Jones, undergraduate class of '81, president of the Longwood Alumni Association, who will welcome you into that august body. And a welcome to the senior leadership of the university. Gathered with us, our vice presidents, our deans, including our provost, Dr. Larissa Smith-Ferguson, and Dr. Janine Perry, dean of our College of Graduate and Professional Studies. And the great Brian Ball is with us this evening, our Commonwealth Secretary of Commerce and Trade, our speaker and recipient of an honorary doctorate, whom I will introduce and exalt in due order a few minutes from now as we make our ceremonial steps tonight. Steps first of welcomes and exhortations, awarding prizes, and then the culminating act of conferring degrees. And it is really wonderful also to have Secretary Ball's wife Jennifer with us this evening, as well as many members of the Radcliffe family. Longwood is 180 years old this year, looking very spry for 180 years old. You could say that our 180-year-old institution specializes in transformation. From the beginning, this institution has held and been held to timeless ideals, while also in a sequence of metamorphoses rising to the call of new beginnings. In Longwood's earliest days, in 1839, right here on High Street, many graduates of America's great colleges from the colonial era rallied to found this great institution, and it has moved through transformation since at this Virginia crossroads where it is profound to note the Civil War moved to a close and the Civil Rights Movement began. Established as a pioneer in women's education, our then private institution became affiliated with the Methodist Church in its early decades, then became a state institution in the 1880s, a baccalaureate institution a generation later in the first half of the 20th century, coeducational a generation ago, then a university in name and scope with this new millennium, and today, as one of the 100 oldest colleges and universities in all of America, one of the 50 oldest NCAA Division I schools, as the third oldest public university in Virginia, with 5,000 students from across the Commonwealth, the nation, the world, lifelong bonds with 35,000 alumni across the globe. Longwood stands within the forefront ranks of America's institutions of higher education. We have conferred graduate degrees at Longwood since the 1950s. Graduate study is an integral part of the fabric of our ancient university, and the future promises a richer and richer tapestry of graduate studies here. A great university thrives with great graduate programs. And graduates, you have indeed helped make us a university in full measure. A diverse community of people with a range of backgrounds and experiences working together in pursuit of education and research and enriching one another's lives. And many of you are now also joining the elite array of double Lancers. And all of you should take particular pride in this fact. Only 12% of Americans hold an advanced degree. And only a fraction of that 12% hold an advanced degree from an institution of the academic lineage and standing through the centuries as Longwood. We celebrate the hard work that has led you to this culminating moment, and we celebrate what lies ahead, great adventures, meaningful challenges, as you take what you have learned at Longwood back into the communities where you live and serve. With the hard work you have undertaken, you are prepared for the next chapters in your professional lives and your lives of citizenship, prepared to serve and to lead as teachers, counselors, therapists, librarians, business leaders. And I hope deeply that in time you will also deploy your education and experiences in assuming in full measure the mantle of leadership, however it might best fit you, as principals in your schools, or leaders in your professional organizations, as board members of the alma mater, or perhaps as elected officials, school board members, state legislators, mayors, members of Congress. Longwood's mission through the centuries today is to shape citizen leaders. And it is a great joy for me to see the faces of so many wonderful citizen leaders ready to march out into a world that dearly needs you. Welcome, welcome to this commencement. And now let me call forward our rector, Mary Ann Radcliffe, for a word of welcome. It will be followed by Tammy Jones, president of our Alumni Association. Then I will introduce our wonderful commencement speaker, Secretary Ball. Madam Rector, please come forward for this word of welcome, and it is a poignant juncture for Mary Ann and for Tammy. The ceremonies this weekend are a culmination of their exemplary board terms. Madam Rector.
Good evening. This is actually my 7th set of brief commencement remarks, and tomorrow morning I will do this for an 8th and final time. I never talk too long. I'm never really sure if it's a welcome or a congratulations or something else entirely. And I'm always focused on the fact that you're unlikely to remember my part in this at all. And I'm not at all offended. As a member of the board, we do want to congratulate you on this important accomplishment. And of course, we want to welcome your friends and family to this occasion where we recognize the milestone these degrees represent. This is something special. It's something more. Sometimes it takes longer. Sometimes you have to come back later, plan around a full-time job or a family or both. Whatever the path to your master's degree, this is most decidedly the extra mile. We do want to thank all the friends and family of our graduates who are here with us today. You helped them get here. Your love and support helped keep them here, and we know you will continue to support them as they apply their new skills and knowledge. The members of the Board of Visitors share a strong belief that the combination of intelligent and engaged students with Longwood's dedicated and quality faculty and staff creates amazing results. You will use what you've learned here. You will work hard. You've already proven that you're capable of that and more. This year, I will add just one thought. Longwood could use your help. As you go through your lives and your careers, you are an ambassador for this place, a place that has given each of her graduates an understanding of the importance of listening to one another, of learning from experience, your own experiences and those of others. The respect that we offer each other in this environment and the space to learn and grow are precious things that are not always readily apparent elsewhere. Many of you know this all too well already, I'm sure. So please continue to be those individuals in your workplace, in your friendships, within your families and beyond. It won't be easy, it's not even always welcome, but it is important. It shows the world what Longwood's about. It illustrates what we've built here together. A place where the importance of citizen leadership is understood, a place where we come to see that it has no curricular boundaries, and a place where our eyes are opened to the fact that it has great good. For people to understand Longwood, they need only to know her graduates. So thank you in advance for being the citizen leaders that we know you are. And again, congratulations and best wishes for continued success and much happiness in your lives.
President Jones, a few alumni words.
Good evening and greetings from the Alumni Association. This is such a special time for you, a time to reflect on all of your hard work and success. In addition to feeling a great sense of accomplishment, you may feel nostalgic and, of course, relieved. A feeling we have in common, I think, is being grateful for the opportunity to attend and graduate from this wonderful university, a place that has been a second home, where you have further prepared for your future career, where because of its size, you have been able to establish and maintain genuine relationships with professors and advisors, and where you have made lasting connections with fellow classmates. Many of you received your undergraduate degree from Longwood and are already members of Longwood's Alumni Association. What an honor to receive your undergraduate and graduate degrees from Longwood. As you know, there are lots of opportunities to stay engaged with Longwood, including attending regional events to connect with fellow alumni and returning to campus for reunions and other special occasions. When you think of all that Longwood has done for you, please consider giving back to it in a spirit of fellowship, service, and loyalty, and as a donor. If this is your first degree from Longwood, we welcome you as a new member of the Longwood University Alumni Association. As we celebrate tonight, we want you all to be involved as alumni. We look forward to meeting and seeing you at upcoming events. Graduates, you have been a Longwood student. Now you become a part of the Longwood alumni family for the rest of your life. On behalf of the Alumni Board, congratulations.
Thank you, Tammy. Our honorary degree recipient and speaker tonight is a distinguished public servant who has contributed to the life of the Commonwealth in countless ways during a powerful career. He has also been a great supporter and close friend of Longwood. He believes deeply in our mission of shaping citizen leaders. Brian Ball was appointed Virginia's Secretary of Commerce and Trade in April 2018, having previously served as the governor's special advisor for economic development and the Deputy Secretary of Commerce and Trade. His service in the Northam administration follows a long and distinguished career at the law firm of Williams Mullen, where he concentrated his practice in business matters such as mergers and acquisitions, securities laws, corporate governance. He also regularly represented clients before state and federal administrative agencies and the Virginia General Assembly, developing true expertise in the vital interplay of business and government. A graduate of the University of Virginia, our older sibling institution by just over a decade, and of UVA's School of Law, Secretary Ball is a great champion of our Commonwealth, advancing our prosperity through his deep and contagious enthusiasm for Virginia as a place to work and to live. You will all be familiar with his most celebrated and consequential triumph, beating competition from almost every corner of the nation, perhaps even the galaxy, to persuade Amazon that Virginia was the place to make its second home, a decision that will bring 25,000 jobs here. I know he would tell you that Virginia's world-class constellation of public universities, including Longwood, was instrumental in that decision. That triumph will redound to the Commonwealth's benefit in incalculable ways over a horizon of generations. Secretary Ball would also be quick to note that it was an operatic cast that won the day, but he has been a central star in the triumph in securing the Amazon deal. True also of his dear friend, my dear friend, the Rector. And it is but one of their many victorious sagas over their careers and lives of service. Mr. Secretary, before I give you the podium to come lay a word on us, let me ask you to come forward with the Rector so that we may present you with an honorary doctorate from Longwood University. Please come forward. Perfect. Yeah. Let me read the resolution and the honorary doctorate. The Honorable Robert Bryan Ball, a distinguished citizen leader who has, with honor and great consequence, contributed to the civic life, sound governance, and prosperity of our Commonwealth, is conferred the honorary degree of Doctor of Humane Letters and is, by the authority vested in the Board of Visitors and on behalf of the faculty, hereby awarded that degree with all rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereto appertaining, given at Longwood University in Virginia, the 17th day of May, 2019, in the 180th year of the university. Secretary Ball.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you so much, President Reevely, for that wonderful introduction. I hope I can get a copy of it and maybe share it with some of my friends when I get back to Richmond. And I need to tell you something that I'd like to tell you something that I told President Reevely about 5 minutes ago, which is that I've never done this before. So I hope you'll bear with me here for a few minutes. And I am so thrilled that this is the first place that I've ever done something like this, because I have a great affection for Longwood, and I've had a front row seat, I think, in a lot of ways to some of the wonderful things that have happened here over the last bunch of years. And so I guess first and foremost, it's congratulations to faculty, to alumni, to parents, to spouses, to partners, to kids, and of course to all of you taking your graduate degrees today. And I have plagiarized a bit from the Rector. You've gone the extra mile here, and it's a big deal. And particularly when you get to the graduate school level, a lot of you I know are juggling things like jobs and family, and it's a sacrifice. It's a sacrifice for everybody, and it's a collaborative enterprise. And the fact I didn't realize until today only 12% of our citizenry gets graduate degrees, so it's really quite a significant accomplishment that each of you has achieved here. And it's a real joy for me to be here at Longwood again. I do get to come down here, and every time I do, I'm reminded of what a close-knit community this is. I'd say smaller schools have an advantage in creating a sense of community, and we'd all be better off if we worked as purposefully to achieve community as Longwood does. And the trajectory here over the last bunch of years is really wonderful. And You most recently acquired the statue of Joan of Arc. It captures the spirit and the excitement that exists here today. It's 5:30, which is kind of evening, and I know that I'm probably one of the few things standing between you all and whatever you're going to do this evening. And so I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I'm going to do this evening when we finish, and it's going to be to have a glass or two of red wine afterwards. And I'd be remiss, given my current job, if I didn't tell you that there's some world-class red wines out there from Virginia. From Virginia. And if you'll see me afterwards, I'll tell you some of my favorites. So no one really wants a long lecture, but the tradition of commencement speeches suggests that I try to tell you something that might be useful to you. And when I was trying to sort all this out, I asked one of my colleagues at work what she thought might be a good idea, and she said, why don't you talk about some of the things that you now know that you wished you really knew when you were younger? And so that's what I'm going to do. And it's a bit of a cliche to tell you that life is what actually happens when you've made other plans, but it is very true. I am here with you today as Virginia's Secretary of Commerce and Trade, but that's not at all what I had planned when I was your age. It wasn't even what I had planned a year and a half ago. And I can thank the Rector for helping me recraft my life plan to bring me here standing before you today. In fact, my life plan from the day I started college was specifically never to work for government. My father worked in federal government, and I absolutely did not want to follow in his footsteps, and I'm going to come back to that. Yet here I am, after 40 years as a corporate attorney, I now work for government, and I love what I'm doing. Economic development is a huge part of what I do, and for me, it's the most fascinating and gratifying work that I've ever done. And President Reevely mentioned Amazon, and that was a fun and exciting thing. But it is as fun and exciting for me to go all over this state and try to find ways to get companies from overseas or companies from other parts of the country to come and invest in our state and create jobs here. And within just a few months ago, we were in Prince Edward County, and Yak Attack was one of the announcements we did, which is a company that makes if you own a kayak, they'll trick it up so you can have all the accoutrements that you need for that kayak to take it fishing and do things like that. And they have some nice things. And if you don't have a kayak, there's a company called Appomattox River Company right around the corner here, and they will sell you a very nice kayak. So I'm sorry, President Reevely. It's hard for me to leave my day job, but this is what I do when I'm at work. I'm trying to sell Virginia and Virginia products. So in any event, I never dreamed of doing something like this in the public sector. My plan when I was probably your all's age was simply to be the best corporate lawyer I could be. And I wish now that I had been more open to other paths earlier, because what I've seen, many of the folks who've served in my position served at a younger age and then benefited from that experience in the next stage of their careers. So I guess the moral of the story there is to have a plan, but try not to fall too much in love with your plan, because life is going to bring you many, many twists and turns. And there will be some good things that happen, and unfortunately there will be some bad things that happen, and things that you can't even begin to imagine as you sit here today. Just trust me on that. So please be open-minded about how you define success and how you define failure, and what you can learn from success, and frankly even more from failure, because failure brings you many very positive lessons as well. And I'd ask you to keep an open mind about how you identify and assess options in your life if and when things don't go according to your plan. I want to come back to my dad. Back when I never thought I wanted to be like my dad, it was at a time in my life when it was hard for me to see any good in myself, and the things that my father stood for just didn't appeal to me, and we were not close. for a number of years. My dad was from West Virginia, and to this day have a lot of family there. In fact, his youngest sister, Janine, is going to be celebrating her 90th birthday in a couple weeks in West Virginia, and family will be back up there for that. So Dad was a Navy vet who overcame what can only be characterized as a horribly impoverished childhood. He was able to go to college after the Second World War thanks to the GI Bill, and he became a distinguished career intelligence officer in the Central Intelligence Agency. Unlike many dads and sons, from about 14 to sometime in my 20s, Dad and I weren't close. I had my own ideas on what I should be doing, and so did he. They just weren't the same. And Dad was as inflexible as I was, so it was tough sledding there for a while. So Dad was deployed to Vietnam during part of my high school years, and he was there, for those of you who are a little older in the audience, he was there during the Tet Offensive in 1968 when Saigon was overrun by the North Vietnamese and the Viet Cong, and it was a very difficult and scary time for our family. So the question you would ask is, was I a dutiful child during the time Dad was away? And the answer was no. Was I a diligent student during this time? Nope, I wasn't that either. Washington, D.C. was very close to where we lived in McLean, Virginia. And again, for the older of you in the audience, this was the wide open 1960s, and I took full advantage of all the trouble you could get in a city like D.C. So I was an at-risk child by any measure, and you can ask yourself what changed. And I want to tell you something about somebody who came into my life at that time. My junior year, I had a sociology teacher. His name was Colonel Rogers. He also became my guidance counselor. Colonel Rogers was a retired Air Force officer and knew my dad was away in Vietnam. He also saw I was not headed in a good direction. Colonel Rogers was strict, and generally students didn't like him at all. But for reasons that for reasons I'll never understand, he and I got along well. And in a quiet and subtle way, he stepped into my life at a time when I least deserved it, but most needed his help. I'll give you an example. Somewhere in there, I figured out a way to finish classes early and leave school way too early. Colonel Rogers figured that out and made me work in the guidance counselor's office and do filing for the guidance counselors, so I couldn't leave so early. So I was a very good figurer in those days, and he was a better figurer, and he figured out what I had figured out and then squashed it, and then quietly kept an eye on me that year and in my senior year. And for me, it was Colonel Rogers who kept me from really going off the rails. I did go to college, where I determined to do well, if only to spite my father, who by this point was sure I wouldn't be able to resist any of the temptations that exist in a college town. But I didn't resist them all, but I resisted enough to become a better student, a diligent student, I would say. And then years later, when I applied to law school and needed a dean's recommendation, I learned Colonel Rogers had also gone to bat for me and worked hard to get me into college. He never, ever said a word to me about it, not once. I learned this from the dean of admissions at my college. For those of you who are on in higher ed and headed and doing things with your graduate degrees in that area, I want you to know very next time I went back to McLean High School, which was shortly after that, I went over to McLean High School and thanked him for what he had done for me. So I wouldn't be here today talking to you if it weren't for Colonel Rogers. He saw a young man who was acting out, and he took the time and made the effort to help me. He didn't have to do that, but he did, and he made a huge difference in my life. And each and every one of you can do exactly that. I know it sounds trite, but that is so very true. And it's true whether you're in education or whether you're in business or whether you're in some other pursuit. Everything we do touches someone else because we don't live as hermits. We're social creatures, and we can affect each other's lives in wonderfully positive ways. I mentioned at the beginning how Longwood works intentionally to build community. Well, community means helping one another, and it means that the actions that we take as individuals affect the whole. You may not get an angry kid like me into college, but you can make a difference to someone, and you never know when you're going to be somebody else's Colonel Rogers. Colonel Rogers saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. Other people saw my frequent visits to the principal's office, and they saw me getting sent home. That happened too. Stood out in the hallway quite a bit. And so I'm sure my permanent file was full of labels, because that's what we do. We categorize things to make sense of them, and there's just so much data. There's so many things coming over the bow, and only so many hours in a day. So we put labels on things, and we put labels on people to help us understand who they are or what they are. But that can really hinder our ability to truly understand one another. I think of my dad coming from West Virginia, labeled as a hillbilly when he enlisted in the Navy at age 18. That's a label, and most people who use it wouldn't have expected him to have amounted to much. But as I said, he became a decorated career officer in the intelligence officer in the CIA. So after today, you're probably going to leave this place, and you're going to move forward with your lives. You'll either be returning to the communities that you live in now, or you'll be finding other communities in which to live. And I hope that when you do, you build connections that are deeper than the labels we put on people. It's easy to spend time with people like ourselves, people who think like we do, and look like we do, and like what we do. But I can tell you this to a moral certainty: if you're willing to look behind the label that is attached to someone, you'll very often, maybe not always, but you'll very, very often be able to see that you can do some very good things for that individual. I mentioned to you I had a poor relationship with my dad, which is why Colonel Rogers' help was so valuable to me at that time in my life. But who we are at 14 or 18 or 20 isn't who we're going to be at 30 or 40. Relationships do change, and I am eternally grateful that the relationship with my father changed dramatically. We became very close and remained very close until the day he died, and I'd be so proud if he were here today, and I miss him every day. So as you make your way in the world, and it can and it will be tough out there with bills, job challenges, kids, life changes, all the things that happen. I ask you to try to think of the needs of others and try to do something to be helpful. And if you do that, I promise you'll make the world a better place. And you'll feel much, much better about yourself then and there when you do it. And then, when you're 67 years old like me and wondering, have you done anything in this world to make the world a better place, you'll feel much better then too. So I can promise you a long-term benefit from a present-day action. So, thank you for letting me talk to you about this today. It's been a true honor to be asked to do this, to speak with you here today. I wish each and every one of you the best of luck and Godspeed.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. That was really, really beautiful. All right, let's make our next ceremonial step. We're going to give out some awards, 6 in total. They are a surprise, and I will ask Dean Janine Perry and Provost Ferguson to come forward to assist in giving out these awards. Dean Perry.
Good evening, everyone. Our first award tonight is the Faculty Research Award. This award recognizes a graduate faculty member for unique or innovative work within their discipline that results in publication and the advancement of that discipline. This year's winner is Dr. Michael Musadola, Associate Professor of Health Education. I didn't finish his title. He's also the Graduate HPE Program Director and Chair of the Department of Health, Athletic Training, Recreation, and Kinesiology. Dr. Musadola commitment to lifelong learning is evident in every facet of his academic life. As a prolific writer, he has published dozens of articles and written numerous book chapters. As a valued researcher, he is regularly invited to make presentations in his area of expertise. His dedication to engage in his work for the greater good and not for personal accolades finds him routinely providing support and guidance to his peers as well as his students as they explore research and inquiry topics in their own fields of expertise. Congratulations, Dr. Musadola.
Our next award is the Faculty Teaching and Mentoring Award. This award recognizes distinction and initiative in graduate teaching and mentoring above and beyond the regular requirements of a graduate faculty member. This year's winner is Dr. Kathleen McCleskey, Associate Professor of Counselor Education and Graduate Program Director. Dr. McCleskey has established her classroom as a warm and inviting place of learning with her calm, quiet, professional manner. Students readily volunteer to role play and participate in simulations in her class because they feel safe and engaged. She demonstrates the appreciation and value that she has for each student as an individual by using relevant and applicable examples in class that will be meaningful to them in their work settings. Her guidance and mentoring have resulted in multiple co-presentations with students at state-level conferences and their active involvement in professional associations, both as graduate students and in their careers. Congratulations, Dr. McCleskey.
The Longwood Graduate Student Award recognizes a current full-time student who demonstrates the initiative to take their research and studies beyond the classroom walls and apply their learning in the work field. This year's winner is Grace Elizabeth Dalton, Master of Education in Reading, Literacy, and Learning. Grace, will you please come forward? Grace served as the graduate assistant to the Department of Education and Counseling for the past academic year, providing one-on-one support for pre-service teachers, assisting faculty with course preparation, and teaching individual lessons. She researched and prepared the literature review for a manuscript entitled A Successful Model for Reimagining Teacher Preparation Programs for Pre-Service Teachers, in collaboration with Dr. Katrina Maynard and Dr. Jody Brinkman. In addition to the manuscript recently being submitted to the Journal of Teacher Education, Grace and the faculty presented their findings at the Association of Teacher Educators 2019 conference in Atlanta, Georgia, last February. Congratulations, Grace.
The Lancer Graduate Student Award recognizes a current part-time student who demonstrates the initiative to take their research and studies beyond the classroom walls and apply their learning to work in the field. This year's winner is Hav Davis Corbin, Master of Education in School Librarianship. Please come forward. After 18 years in the classroom, Hav began her career as a teacher librarian at Liberty High School in Bealton, Virginia last August. In this new role, she has created, and this is a long list, so be patient and walk slowly, Hav. In her first year, she has created learning stations for each discipline, designed breakout boxes with research units for numerous classes, held a monthly in-school read-in during study hall for students, teachers, and administrators, obtained a grant with a local bookstore to create a free book section, created a Spanish language fiction section, established a therapy dog program, founded a Project Lit chapter that has grown to over 45 students, created a makerspace with monthly maker lessons, and hosted author visits. And again, this was just her first year as a teacher librarian. Congratulations, Hob. Congratulations.
The Graduate Leadership Award recognizes a student for outstanding service, including participation in campus activities and performance as a graduate assistant. This year's winner is Allison Kirby Dalton, Master of Science in Counselor Education. Kirby has served as the graduate assistant to the Counselor Education Program for the last 2 years, providing invaluable support to the faculty as they completed an intensive review process to earn national professional accreditation through KCREP. For the past year, she has served as president of the Phi chapter of Chi Sigma Iota, the International Counseling Academic and Professional Honor Society. She has been active in the Graduate Student Association, most recently leading the Relay for Life team. As a citizen leader at Longwood, Kirby continuously demonstrates responsible and positive leadership. Congratulations, Kirby Dalton.
Thank you, that's right. Our final award, the Graduate Alumni Award, recognizes a program graduate who has continued to excel in their field. This year's winner is Deborah Sullivan Kelly, Master of Education in School Librarianship who graduated in August of 2017. Deborah cannot be with us this evening due to SOL administration at her school today. Seriously. It is May. So let me tell you a little bit about her. Deborah is finishing her 3rd year as the librarian at Woodbridge Senior High School in Prince William County. Her innovation and enthusiasm makes her library a popular, interactive, and inviting learning center. A few of the projects she has implemented include Breakout EDU, where teams of students solve challenging academic puzzles, using Kiva plank building blocks to explore ancient civilizations, taking high school seniors to read to 3rd graders in the nearby elementary school, and hosting flex opportunities where teachers share their travels abroad with students. One of her projects, Democracy Classroom, even led to CBS News visiting to film a government class in action. Congratulations to Deborah Sullivan Kelly.
Those are some really nifty awards. Congratulations, all of our award winners. And I sense spirits beginning to rise in the room as we have made it through yet another ceremonial step and are approaching the main act. I will now ask the rector to come forward to authorize the beginning of the main act, the conferral of degrees. Madam Rector.
President Reevely, on behalf of the Board of Visitors, it is my privilege to authorize you to award the degrees.
We're in business. Assisting me in conferring degrees will be Dr. Timothy O'Keefe, Dean of the College of Business and Economics, Dr. Paul Chapman, Dean of the College of Education and Human Services. The names of the graduates will be intoned by Ms. Kathy Charleston, Assistant Dean of the College of Graduate and Professional Studies, And the graduates will be hooded by Dean Perry, and Provost Ferguson will supervise as we do all of this. Dean O'Keefe.
Will the candidates in the College of Business and Economics for the degree of Master of Business Administration please rise? President Reevely, on the recommendation of the faculty of the College of Business and Economics, I present to you these candidates who have fulfilled all the prescribed conditions for the degree of Master of Business Administration.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Visitors, and on the recommendation of the faculty of Longwood University, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Master of Business Administration with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. Congratulations and welcome to the ranks of the devoted alumni of this Commonwealth's third oldest public university. Congratulations.
Graduates, please come forward so that we can recognize your accomplishments.
The following candidates in the College of Business and Economics will receive the degree of Master of Business Administration. The graduate program director will come forward to congratulate the students in their respective concentrations. General Business Concentration, Fraser Alexander Bolton. Kirsten Shawbaugh Bowen. Justin Ross Chamberlain. Justin James Eddington. Michael Wesley Fasinoli. Charles Cornelius Glover III. Caitlin Whitley Goff. Ann Bon Hagan. Amy Michelle Motley Harris. Brittany Nicole Hensley. Amanda Nicole Lee. Claire Marie Murphy. Andrew Davis Newmarker. Jeffrey Kenneth Taylor. Alexander James Waite. Amanda Zinner.
Dean Chapman, please come forward.
Will the candidates in the College of Education and Human Services for the degrees of Master of Education and Master of Science please rise? That's right. President Reevely, on the recommendation of the faculty in the College of Education and Human Services, I present to you these candidates who have fulfilled all the prescribed conditions for the degrees of Master of Education and Master of Science.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Visitors, and on the recommendation of the faculty of Longwood University, I hereby confer upon you the degrees of Master of Education and Master of Science with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. Congratulations and welcome to the graduate ranks of the devoted alumni of this Commonwealth's third oldest public university.
Graduates, please come forward so we can recognize your accomplishments.
And those of you not yet coming forward can sit again until the marshals instruct you. And stay tuned. There will be a guest appearance as we proceed by a true Longwood campus icon. So keep the eyes peeled.
The following candidates in the College of Education and Human Services will receive the degree of Master of Education with a major in Reading, Literacy, and Learning. The Graduate Program Director will come forward to congratulate the students in their major. Rachel Jordan Clyburn. Grace Elizabeth Dalton. Megan Carter Duriger. Elena Michelle Faulkner. Brooke Raven Gallion. Sarah Hope Hess. Stephanie Lee Nichols. Kimberly Lynn Nolan. Rachel Marie Pata. Savannah Marie Penitzer. Margaret Heather Rumley Street. Danielle Blakely Sisson. Amanda Nicole Swafford. Savannah Blake Thomas. Trisha Esenwine Trent. Teresa Ann Asmussen. Now, don't go anywhere. The following candidates in the College of Education and Human Services will receive the degree of Master of Education with a major in school librarianship. The Graduate Program Director will come forward to congratulate the students in their respective concentrations. Initial licensure track, Carrie Royce Bartlett. Licensed teacher track, sorry. Jennifer Lee Carey. Amber Jean Collins. Hav Davis Corbin. Elizabeth Ann Early. Caitlin Reed Fleming. Naomi Grace Giles. Matthew Vincent Kearns. Jennifer Bennett Nelson. Kristen Doherty Sharkowski. Ashley Eads White. The following candidates in the College of Education and Human Services will receive the degree of Master of Science with a major in Communication Sciences and Disorders. The Graduate Program Director will come forward to congratulate the students in their major. Morgan Michelle Arthur. Lauren Naomi Ellen Bowman. Serafina Teresa Chabanek. Jordan Monica Chapman. Molly Kathleen Daly. Colleen Bourne Daniel. Danielle Victoria Hood. Leah Maylene Horton. Tia Javier. Anna Catherine Johnson. Colleen Marie Johnson. Kristen Elizabeth Nosley. Caitlin Marie Lester. Rachel Kathleen Mars. Laura Carolyn Mixon. Rachel Virginia Pegalo. Augusta Zindi Reisling. Courtney Lee Spates. Chelsea Marie Tanner. Jalen Destiny Taylor. Sheridan Teresa Thagard. The following candidates in the College of Education and Human Services will receive the degree of Master of Science with a major of Counselor Education. The Graduate Program Director will come forward to congratulate the students in their major. College Counseling and Student Affairs, Ian Anthony Walker. Mental Health Counseling, Jessica Bardenhire. Michaela Diane Evans. Michael Lynn Helton. Jacqueline Patricia Lyle. Jillianne Denise Moreland. Jasmine Nicole Payne. We now invite Ms. Betty Pelletier, the face of Longwood Dining, to join us on stage to assist with the hooding of her daughter, Melissa Pelletier, a Longwood employee who is receiving her third Longwood degree, Melissa April Pelletier. Joseph Dietrich Rockelman. Brooklyn Dale Thompson. Hunter Rose Worsham. Furley Terrell Yerby. School counseling, Allison Kirby Dalton. Grace Owen Fitzgerald. Amy Kathleen Ligon. Natalie Alice Mitchell. Michaela Landreth Norton. Emery Lavelle Reed. Erin Lindsay Robinson. Laquita Shanae Williams. The following candidates in the College of Education and Human Services will receive the degree of Master of Science with a major in education. The graduate program directors will come forward to congratulate their students in their respective concentrations. Counselor Education, College Counseling and Student Affairs, Quincy Aaron Goodine. Counselor Education, Mental Health Counseling, Anne Marie Arbuckle. Elementary and Middle School Mathematics, Amy Werner Height. Brooke Jacobs Inge. Laura Brankley Medina. Joanna Witt Pittard. Health and Physical Education, Britton Michelle Payne. Malcolm Leonard Tillerson. Curriculum and Instruction Specialist in General Curriculum Special Education, Amelia Grace Erickson. Emily Page Hinkle. Michaela Wade Hostetter. Samantha Grace Colpian. Caitlin Marie Lacombe. Lauren Elizabeth Nelson. Malia Stephanie O'Donnell. Elizabeth Kathleen Puccinelli. Carly Cancino Wren. Special Education General Curriculum 5th year, Emily Grace Anderson. Lauren Ashley Bell. Christina Noel Casella. Emily Ann Clark. Blake Sterling Croson. Lauren B. Drew. Caitlin Ann Edwards. Catherine Taylor Gerbus. Lacey Magdalene Hodges. Helen Parker Joyner. Carly Louise Keeshan. Abigail Marie Lee. Kelly Margaret McConnell. Caitlin Morgan Remington. Casey Elizabeth Rip. Charles Allen Salterbeck. Diana Marie Wassenberg. Danielle Elizabeth Williams. Special Education General Curriculum Initial Teacher Licensure, Susan Whitney Haley. Karen Elizabeth Ryan.
All right, graduates, I think you need to rise as a body and let us give you a big, thunderous round of applause. All right, indulge just a couple more ceremonial acts, and then Secretary Ball has asked me to say, "May the Virginia red wine flow." You all can sit for just a second more, too.
Not too much longer. Graduates, the advanced degree which you have received today carries the benefits of professional success and advancement, along with the responsibilities of leadership and service in your careers and professional lives. As a Longwood graduate, you carry the qualities of integrity, respect, scholarship, perseverance, and honesty out to the schools and universities, clinics and hospitals, businesses and government agencies for whom you work or will work. We are proud of your accomplishments and wish you success and happiness in all future endeavors. When we leave here this evening, faculty will form a double reception line outside of Jarman for all of you to pass through so that they can congratulate you with your newest master's degree. If you would please make sure you all process all the way out. Don't stop in the vestibule, go outside, and that way we'll be able to get everybody through. Immediately after the recessional, the faculty and student award winners should go to the front steps of Lancaster Hall for the photograph, and everybody else go that way too, because we will have a reception on Lancaster Lawn hosted by the Graduate Student Association, and there's always good yummy food out there, so please make sure you make your way over there. And now Lacey Hodges, class of 2019. Will lead us in the singing of the alma mater. Please stand for and remain standing for the retiring of the colors.
Faithful and devoted be thy sons and daughters forever. Hail to thee, dear alma mater, hail to thee, all hail. Onward ever, Longwood, proud and true eternally. Thy love will always guide and protect and keep them faithful to thee. Thy love will always guide and protect and keep them faithful to thee.
President Reevely, requesting permission to retire the colors.
You may retire the colors. Dr. Chandler, will you please retrieve the mace and begin the recessional?